Well, you already know, lots of snow in our forecast. It means we're going to need a lot of salt. And like you said, behind me is one of MDOT's salt barns where we've seen salt trucks come and go this morning filling up with salt. Now I'm going to bring in MDOT's Nick Sharippa. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
We were talking a little bit before and you told me these salt barns behind us aren't just where you store the salt, it's also where you treat it for effectiveness, right? So these 4 shootings all took place between the hours of 10:50 p.m. on Friday night and 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And not only did they happen within that small window of time, they were all within 2 miles of each other. I want you to take a look here at this map showing just how close those shootings were. He told me that he was getting ready for bed late last night around 11 p.m. when all of a sudden he felt his home begin to shake. And when he looked out his window, he was not prepared for what he saw. We've been tracking the delays and cancellations at our nation's airports this morning, and already there are over 9,200 delays and over 1,700 cancellations and counting. We have to continuously refresh this page behind me because these numbers are increasing by the minute. It's actually a little difficult to keep up with. Tensions have been high all week with supporters for both Schur and Loyola showing up right behind me, right outside the courthouse to have their voices heard, hoping for the verdict to go in their favor. In fact, around 4 p.m. when this incident happened, we were reaching peak temperatures of about 80 degrees. Great weather for, let's just say, a walk, not exactly to be left alone in a van in a parking garage with the windows up, no AC, and no idea of when or if help will be coming. Chavez Marshall does it all.
Everything's covered and everybody's on their way out.
Organizing and coordinating bus routes, answering parent emails, and lately, he even drives the bus himself.
Last year, not at all, but this year I've been on the road a lot.
It's a last resort Comstock Public Schools transportation supervisor says he's turned to more times than he'd prefer, especially just 2 months into a new school year.
It's going to be in November. I probably drove 17 to 20 times.
The ongoing bus driver shortage has left Marshall with tough decisions, like brief cancellations of routes.
There are students who, when their route is canceled, they don't go to school because the parent relies heavily on our transportation system. And so, and that's the thing that hurts me the most.
Just a few drivers and subs short of a full staff, the hunt hasn't been easy.
I got 4 people that's like at 47% of the process done, and now it's a holdup. So now I got to contact them, and some people I call and phones is disconnected, and so it's like I run into these roadblocks, and it don't make it easier.
Comstock adding new navigation tech in their buses, making routes easier for drivers who transport up to 70 students at a time.
It allows them to see how many students they're going to be picking up on this route. It allows them to see how many stops it is.
Despite the roadblocks, Marshall says early mornings behind the wheel remind him why he took the job in the first place, to keep buses rolling and students learning. In Comstock Township, Teanna Barnes, News Channel 3. The midwife from Bronson that I spoke with says social media plays a huge role in this. Viral videos offering misinformed and unsolicited medical advice to expecting mothers looking for any sort of relief from overwhelming and sometimes never-ending pregnancy symptoms. For every 6 expecting mothers in Michigan, at least one of them is self-medicating with cannabis for pregnancy symptoms like morning sickness, insomnia, and anxiety. That's according to a recent study from Michigan State University.
No, I'm not surprised.
It's something midwives like Amanda Ezekiel have been seeing more and more, including in Kalamazoo. Ezekiel says although she can't stop expecting moms from using cannabis, she's sure to educate them about the risks, including preterm labor, low birth weight, and intellectual delays.
I think people have this idea that this perceived notion that it is safe because you can get a medical card for it for certain reasons. So if you can use it for medical reasons, it must not be that bad.
Despite the other medical benefits, CDC guidelines don't recommend cannabis use during pregnancy due to the risks, which Ezekiel says are minimized by misinformation.
I absolutely think that social media is contributing to this misinformation.
We watched videos online, some with tens of thousands of views, justifying and even encouraging moms struggling with symptoms to garden, a code word used on socials to avoid censorship.
Yeah, if gardening is the only thing that's going to allow a mom to not
endure morning sickness to keep a meal down, to be able to eat food, she should do it.
It's really hard to combat these kind of messages because she really is making it sound like it's not a big deal.
In fact, research suggests it's a huge deal, although the variety of forms of cannabis use like smoking, eating, and drinking make it hard to pinpoint the long-term risks for newborns. Ezekiel says the stigma around alcohol and cannabis use while pregnant is vastly different.
If someone's saying, well, I'm treating my anxiety with vodka every day, I don't think people would feel the same way about that. It's same risks, similar risks.
For Ezekiel, the key is to approach conversations without judgment and emphasize other options for relief from symptoms.
We have protocols, we have medications, we have IV infusions, we have a number of other, not even just one type of therapy. If this fails, we have plan B, we have plan C.
In Kalamazoo, Teanna Barnes, News Channel 3. Walking out of class Friday morning, these Portage Northern high schools have one clear message.
End the violence! End the violence! Yeah!
They want to put a stop to the gun violence they've seen in classrooms.
I feel passionate about this because I see people my age dying from this.
Even students younger than sophomore Madeline Doon have fallen victim to gun violence. Most recently, 2 elementary students in Minnesota. Doon says it's why she's tired of waiting, praying, and hoping for change.
It's going to take us, the people, to force a change in the government, and it starts with us, the young people who will come up and vote in a couple years.
Only a couple years away from taking to the polls, Rhea Bott doesn't plan on waiting that long. She says at times she wonders if or when Portage will be the next headline.
I'm not necessarily going to stand by and just let that fear continue. I want to change it for the elementary schoolers.
Pleading with classmates to contact state lawmakers, Bott and Doon hope their efforts make their way to the right people to put an end to the fear that lingers in hallways across America. In Portage, Teanna Barnes, News Channel 3. Good morning, West Michigan. Are you ready for winter? Well, ready or not, it's here, or at least the snow is. And if you're anything like me and you haven't used this since last year, it'll be a good idea to figure out where it is because we're all gonna need a little bit of extra time to warm up our cars, dust off the windshields, and just stand and accept the fact that Michigan winters are just only beginning. And you know who doesn't have to deal with this crap? Florida. Speaking of Florida, they're one of the states set to get these ATMs or automatic treat machines. Good morning minute. That's how fast the Better Business Bureau is warning that scammers can skim your card information without you ever swiping it. It's called ghost tapping, and it's become more prevalent because tap to pay is the new popular way to quickly and conveniently check out. Scammers use NFC signals to skim your card info and run up a tab, so check your bank app frequently for any unfamiliar charges. And today is the first day U.S. mint workers won't have to worry about this coin. President Trump announced back in February that he's ordered his administration to stop making the penny. Hey West Michigan, it's your morning minute, and I'm not just dancing because it's Friday. Take a look at this. This Cranford, New Jersey man wasn't really behaving how you'd expect at a town hall meeting. He started dancing to protest his city's rising property taxes. And as you can see from the looks on the faces in the background, they are all too used to his antics. And this isn't the kind of list you want to be at the top of. Michigan has some of the highest unemployment rates in the country. We just ranked 4th overall with a rate of 5.3%. I'm Teanna Barnes, and this is ISIS. It says so right there on her custom license plate she's rocked since 2022. But now California's DMV is saying the plate reading I am ISIS goes against their regulations. They say regardless of her intention, the plate on her Kia can be misinterpreted as a reference to the terrorist group ISIS. But a law professor weighed in and said the plate is protected under the First Amendment.